Welcome, everybody. I am a bit exhausted because it is now Boston summer heat. It was like 96 degrees today. I also today started once a week. I am teaching at a middle school. It's a pilot program. It's in Chelsea, which I stupidly thought was going to be a lot closer than it is. It is a pain in the ass to get there from Cambridge. But at least it's nice that it's not that far from the chess club. So I finished that at 6:30. I didn't know how long it would take me to get to Boylston. I then headed on off, got a sweet green in between, and I was on time for my game against Matthew Collins. What's that you say? Yes, this month is not Thursday club nights. Instead, it's the Weaver Adams Under 1800 Club Championship. Now, as I am under 1800 currently, my hope is to be higher than that. Hold on, I don't know if you can hear this, but my cat is going nuts in the background. One of them. Stop. Alright, sorry about that little delay. He's a little maniac. Basically, when Lizzie goes to bed, she closes the door, and then he wants to go in the bedroom, and then sometimes I'll let him in there. And then 2 minutes later, he wants to get out of the bedroom. And then 2 minutes later, he wants to go back in the bedroom. At the end of the day, what you have to just do, what I'm doing right now is just swaddling him like a little baby, saying, "It's okay, little guy," and he will calm down eventually. Oh, where were we? Yes. So this is the Weaver Adams. Because I can only play some Thursdays, it's supposed to be a 4-round tournament. I am definitely going to miss next week because I'm running a Dungeons & Dragons game. It's my business. And then I play the week after, and what I decided I would do is if I'm in contention to win the whole tournament, so if round 3 I win, or draw, but if a win for the 4th round lets me still win the tournament, then I'm going to not run my Thursday, and I'm going to try to play the game. In any event, I drew against, not drew, you don't know if I drew yet, we'll see. I'm paired against Matthew Collins. I was a little bit disappointed. I'm the number 1 seed, and I was under the impression that the number 1 seed gets to play the white pieces. But apparently that's not the case, so I'm playing as black. Now, it's not a big deal. I don't mind it from a rating perspective. It's more that I just if the things were equitable, balanced. And at this point, I've played 5 more black games than white games. So, all right, well, let's get into it. Matt is new-ish to the club. I think he's played for a few months. His rating currently is 1538. I thought he was pretty good. I don't know if he's underrated. He's certainly not overrated, I'll tell you that much. But maybe his rating is pretty fair. He strikes out with e4. Actually, it's funny. I looked at all the boards. There were 4 boards going today. There's 10 people in the Weaver Adams, and everyone played e4 from the white side. So an e4 dominant crowd. As you all know, those are the loyal watchers who've been watching a lot. I have a few openings that I've been playing against e4, but what I like against somebody who kind of in a vacuum. Before any meta, is involved with them knowing my repertoire or anything like that, I'm pretty much against blank slate going to play the Nimzovich because it's very solid, it's good, I know quite well, and generally the opponents don't know. What's funny is I asked him after the game if he knew the line. He actually knew it. He actually did know this, and because he did play Top Theory for a while. So let me just make quick moves. Oh, and the last little point is the Weaver Adams is an hour 45, not an hour and a half, not 90 minutes, and it's a 10-second increment, not 5. Or delay. So needless to say, this game, Matt and I played down to, I'm going to look at the final time. He was down to 6 minutes and I was down to 16 minutes. So needless to say, we spent more than 3.5 hours playing this game. It was a long one. Hopefully the recap isn't as long. All right, e4, 96. d4, this is main line. d5, I strike with the Scandinavian variation. It's what I like best. I really do like playing this. He plays knight c3. This is, I asked, afterward, Haley was there with Andrew. Nice people. I had to charge my phone actually because I've been driving bad. I didn't charge it last night. My phone was nearly dead, and because I drove from Chelsea, I actually drove. I almost never drive to the Boylston Club. I normally walk. But he asked they asked about what my game was, and I told him it was the Nimzovich Bogolubov variation. And Andrew was able to pronounce what this word is, but I tried it 5 times. It's Bogolubov or I really don't know, but it's the Scandinavian Bogo variation of the Nimzovich defense. I know the Bogo is a King's Indian typically, so this is the lesser known of the Bogos, which is fine. And I do know this one decently. The reason why is after they play knight c3, you're actually supposed to take the pawn, allow d5, which looks scary, and the move that Magnus plays, and it's a rare move, but it's like the best move, is just to retreat the knight back to b8. And this is where he said that he actually wasn't familiar with this move. Okay, so he's only 4 moves deep. It's not like he knows like droves and droves of theory. But he did play the best. Line. The reason why, and I'm pretty sure that these are what my notes say. After I retreat the knight, he obviously takes the pawn. It's not obvious, but I think it's the best play. And the idea is you go c6. If they take, which they shouldn't do, then you're able to trade queens on your own terms. And after take, you can develop the knight with tempo, and black is already better. So instead, what they mostly do is defend this pawn. And there's 3 ways to do it. They can move the knight, they can move the bishop, or they can move the pawn. I actually think c4 is strongest. I'm actually kind of curious. It is strongest. Yeah, c4 is best. Yeah, it is best. That's what I thought was best. But I know that all 3 are reputable moves. And I do know that d takes is not good, but that's the 4th move that is actually played somewhat frequently in this position. And of course, I'm booked up with those 4 moves. If anyone can think of another move in this position, you're welcome to do it, because I will not have looked into it, that's for sure. Anyway, after all this goes down, he plays bishop c4. And now I take, and the hope is that if they take with the bishop, it's actually all of a sudden really good for black, because you're able to play e6 with tempo, force them back, and then still get the queen trade on your own terms. And in that position where the bishop is out wide, staring into the concrete, again, it's good for black. But he played the right moves, which is you're supposed to go queen takes. Queen trade is forced. He's threatening this, as you can tell. So after takes, now I play e6 with tempo. I'm trying to build my center. And this is as far out as I go. I know that they can go back to either of these 2 squares. I think either one's fine. Yeah, c4 and b3. Yeah, I've looked this far. Obviously, they have to go to one of those spots. And I know that I answer one of them with knight f6 and one of them with bishop d7. And for the life of me, I couldn't remember which one's which. I played this exact same line against Romain Magnet months ago. And in fact, the game followed very, very similarly for a few moves. So it's kind of nice being able to draw on a game I played a few months ago, and I did remember that one pretty well. He plays bishop b3. So in bishop b3, and again, I don't think it really matters knight f6 or bishop d7, but it is nice that I remember my theory, and I do play. Oh, no, I don't play. Oh, I played the wrong move. Oh, it's knight f6 here. Ooh. I thought it was bishop d7 or knight c6. I couldn't remember, actually. Oh yeah, now that I see it, it's because I want the bishop on c6, and I want to be able to have the knight on d7. Okay, no wonder I ran into some problems, because I thought I played, like, I just hadn't reviewed my theory in a while, my prep, and I thought I was nailing everything, because again, I spent no time. He was down, I don't know, about 10 minutes in the opening. Looks like I played the wrong move. No wonder, because I ended up getting kind of a rough position. I wondered what went wrong. Not that this move is bad. Knight c6, it's fine. It's just not what I'm supposed to play here. I'm supposed to play the other knight. Okay. All right, whatever. And around here, I know I'm kind of out of book, to be honest. I mean, clearly, I made the wrong move here. But this is about as far as I know. He plays bishop e3, which makes sense. He's, like, centralizing. And, like, as you guys can tell, and I will turn off the engine in a moment, the position's pretty much, like, black is kind of equalized. Like, I feel like I've done my job. Alright, I play the second best move. I play bishop d7. Alright, I'm gonna turn the engine off now. But, like, the point is, it's plus 0.1. Like, I've done my job. I prepared, I remembered well enough. We get this position. It's known as the Bogolubov. Also the Berlin Gambit, which I thought reversed to another e4 opening. By the way, if my voice is hard to hear, I'm not kidding. It's literally like 96 degrees. I need to shower. But I have my AC on in this room. I know it's kind of loud. I really apologize if it's taking away from the audio, but you gotta understand, if I didn't have that on, I would be a puddle of water. Just gross. But in any event, after bishop e3, we're just kind of, developing. Now I seem to remember bishop d7. I thought that this was the setup with the idea of castles. But then Matt, by the way, Matthew, he prefers Matt, so I'm gonna just call him Matt. He castles, and like this is where I thought was my first critical position of the game. In fact, I go down to an hour 35, so I do spend a good amount of time here. Because my notes said to queenside castle, but I think that's when I have this knight out already. and I wasn't so sure that I should do it. Okay, looks like my instincts are good. And I thought for a while, because at first I was going to just castle. I was going to just, guerrilla style, throw it in there and just castle. And I thought for a while, it looks like, by the way, I found, kind of the best move, so I'm pretty happy with myself. And I thought around here that something went a little bit wrong, because in a lot of these positions, I'm the one who's supposed to put heat on my opponent by getting to queenside castle first. And in this position, with him already having the rook on d1, I thought I actually need to change plans and get my rook on c8 to kind of line up with his king. So I was going to just bang out a queenside castle, and then I decided, because this is an hour 45, you have a ton of time in the Weaver Atoms, to really, really think. And I had a few candidate moves. I considered a5. I play knight a5 later to trade off this knight for the bishop. Maybe I should have just done it here. But I then decided that I needed to actually get my pieces in the game, and I think this is where I realized I actually put the wrong knight out first, and I played knight f6. And the idea is pretty simple. I thought he was going to trade, I was going to take, and I told him in the post cap. We had a kind of a quick post cap, even though it was a very complicated game, actually, because we literally ended at like 11 something. I mean, the games didn't start till 7:30, and this was, hour 45 on each person, so that's what, 3.5 hours. 8, 11. Yeah, the game ended after 11. Actually, it was really late. We didn't. I mean, it was still an informative post cap. I liked going over the game with him, but yeah, it was just. I was pretty out of it. I was finishing my salad because I had half of my sweet cream before, and then I finished the other half after the game. So yeah, my idea here is I thought I needed to get the pieces out. I wasn't comfortable castling anymore, and I thought that he was the one with the play. And I thought something went wrong. I wasn't thrilled with my position. And he plays knight d6, which I think is inaccurate, but actually I'm kind of curious if it is inaccurate. Yeah, he should just trade. I thought he was going to just trade. Knight c5 is the other move. Just kind of keep gunning down. Yeah, knight c5 is the move that maintains an advantage. And this move, we're just equal because I, of course, just traded off. But I thought we were going to get this position. And then after something like this, I was gonna just play this position. I was fine with this. I'm not planning on castling. I don't know if I'd play b6 to kind of take this away. I kind of want to nest my king onto e7. On some lines, I want to be able to get my bishop out. Not here because it's being taken away. Maybe I'd play h5. A lot of ideas. And I thought that I was fine here. I wasn't in love with my position. But and I didn't think that this was actually that weakening because it's a middle game without queens. Yeah, okay, cool. The computer likes. So I thought this was what we were going to get, and I wasn't in love with it, but it felt fine. Instead, he plays the knight check. I obviously take, and I kind of get rid of this bishop, which I wasn't really sure what belonged anyway, and he quickly takes. And yes, white has the bishop pair. Yes, he technically has an active rook, and I can't actually play king e7 to eject because I was very worried about this move. Bishop c5, as you can tell. So yeah, so after this point, Matt is down to about an hour and a half. I spend another 10 minutes in this position because I really, really, really am trying to make sense of the position, and I am calculating some wild stuff like knight e4. I was thinking in the different lines if I let him take. Basically, if he pins me, I thought this was a forking square where there's some crazy line I was calculating with basically sacking the bishop to take on e2 and then take the rook, things like that. And I was getting too ahead of myself. I was calculating some really crazy moves here, and then I buckled down after about 5 minutes of total crazy lines that I was just thinking. I was really considering a5 here. I think I find the best move, and I said to myself, all right. This knight is a little bit awkward. I really want my bishop there. His bishop is theoretically strong. If I play knight a5, I can just trade it and I can kill off the bishop pair, and I can relocate my piece to a better square where I don't have to worry about it being with the king having to defend it. Obviously the knight's guarding too, but there are some lines where he pins me, and then this light square bishop becomes very loose. So I thought for a while, and I did find the best move, it looks like. At least the computer wants to play. Okay, maybe. The computer wanted me to play knight a5 in a lot of positions, and then finally in this position they don't. Fuck. That was the move I was considering. These two moves. Fuck. And then I talked myself out of it because the line becomes very, very wild. All right. Well, god damn it. I played this move just to show you guys what I was thinking. I was thinking here, and I was thinking here. God damn it. My idea jumping here is to basically hit these squares and try to bounce on in and then get in there. Or use these files. Whatever. Alright, silly computer. I still think my move is pretty good. It's pretty simple. I'm getting this piece. I'm trading a piece that I don't like as much for a piece that I think is better. And I'm improving a piece that's not very good to a better square. So I thought that was like a productive use of a move. You know what I mean? He plays knight f3. I don't have to take right away. I considered not, because like his bishop's not going anywhere. And one thing to note is this is with check. You guys can tell that. But I kind of did the thing like, why not just take? Like, what else am I supposed to play here? And it's the best move. Okay, cool. I was looking at king e7. I was really worried about king e7 and then having him play bishop c5. It's a move I wanted to play, but I just wasn't really sure. All right, and takes his best. So I take, he takes back with the a pawn, I believe. And we are in another doozy position where I want to play bishop c6, but the whole time I'm looking at knight e5. And obviously he's threatening the bishop, and then after takes, he can win a pawn. I thought if I moved this rook, I kind of have a clever idea where if I move my bishop, he moves his knight, I move the rook, and then he tries to take this pawn, I can move it back, and then when he bounces, I have this check to pick up this piece. But I saw that he could actually move it back to b8, and yeah, maybe that's still good for me. Anyway, the point is, I didn't think you could ever take the a7 pawn, because I always have this tactic. So I thought I kind of could try to induce that, like going here and then here. I just didn't think he'd fall for it. It didn't seem best. But I really was worried about king e7. Like, all right, after a while, so move 15, I spent 8 minutes on this. I then decided that this isn't that bad, that once he plays knight e5, which is what he does, and I know that I can't take. Like, my first reaction was I can take this pawn, but I saw after bishop takes pawn, rook g1, and then I like move my bishop, he actually infiltrates, and like he's hitting everything, and I thought that was kind of like losing for me. Kind of curious if I found the best move here. Yeah. Okay, it is the best move. Bishop c6. I mean, the computer wants to play king e7. I wanted to as well. I just didn't think it worked. It is the best move, but you know, I played the other best move. Cool. Yeah, some ideas of rook c. I thought this was a clever move. I consider rook c8 pretending to give up the pawn, but I didn't think it really was giving up the pawn. And I also was looking at knight d5. Okay, so my instincts were pretty good right now, actually. And like my big issue with this position is this h-rook is not in the game, and my king is not as safe as his king. But I actually thought his rook was a little bit like like it's not where it should be, because I have like different forking ideas in some lines. Yeah, I don't know. All right, well I played here, and I thought 95 was the no-brainer. I'm kind of curious if the computer says anything but 95, yeah, okay, of course, 95 is the best move. Well, they don't like bishop c6. They really do like moving the king up. Well, he finds the only move in the position, and wow, actually, apparently I can take on g2. Oh, so I make a mistake here. I don't take. I thought that this was dangerous for me. My first instinct was to take, but I don't do that. Instead, I play bishop e4, and my thinking was that I could bring the rook to c8, and I can get some counterplay of my own. And I saw, after he bumps me with f3, that I could go all the way back to g6, and if he ever trades, I take. I thought I could activate my rook this way. He wants to double. He's kind of like, needs to spend a bunch of moves protecting the h-pawn. So I thought that this was like decent for me. Decent. But apparently inaccurate. Sheesh. I think my recap is going to be a little bit low energy. It was a long game, and I was very, very hot today, and a lot of stuff went on. So, all right. Nonetheless, after bishop g6, he does get his rook into the game. He plays rook h d1. Matthew did spend 10 minutes in this position, and I don't think I have a lot of moves here. I briefly consider rook c8. I'm always worried about this pin. Bishop g5. I no longer have this fork idea because c3 is taking it away. And it's actually really bad. I looked at it. If I do nothing and he moves here and I let him trade after takes, like if I was to castle, he actually has an incredible fork to hit the rook and the pawn. And I think I'm losing in exchange. And my pawn structure is just terrible. So I don't like that. So I thought that if I was ever going to castle, I'd need to do it now. So I do. You know what, we'll look in depth with the computer afterward. Let's just get through the moves, right? And I saw that, like, yes, he could pin me and then, like, infiltrate. But my whole idea was basically worming into the d5 square and just having a monster knight, which is kind of what happened in the game. I think he made a big mistake soon. Like, I thought he was better. In this game, I castle, I get my king safe, and I was like, okay, white is better here. And actually, the white is better. Like, it's plus 1.3 or so. It felt better to me for him. Like, I thought, okay, I did play the best move there. I felt like I made a mistake. He has the power in the position. He has more activity, and I don't really think his pawns are weak at all. And I think he left me off the hook here. I told him this in the post cap. I said that this was the move that I thought he gave away his advantage, because he trades like this. Okay, he does a little bit, but not. He's still better. Obviously, I can't take with the F pawn because I would lose the E pawn, so I take with the H pawn. And yeah, we're just playing this position. He's trying to infiltrate on the 7th. He can basically attack me like so. And it's not looking great for the hero of the story, the hero of the day. He plays c4. He's taking away this knight jump. Makes a lot of sense to me. And I play rook f to c8. I played this rook over because I was worried in some lines, like so. And if I move this rook, I thought that he really could now win this pawn. Now that the rooks are connected, I don't have this like skewer anymore. So that's why I use this rook. My idea is if he, if I can, I'm still actually threatening now knight d5 because I'm leveraging this pin. And a lot of lines I'm trying to think of like playing like a5, b5 and opening him up, kind of playing on the fact that his king is actually, that this is a weakening move, moving the pawn. I think it's good. It takes away this d5 square, don't get me wrong, but it's a positive move that comes with some drawbacks, you know what I mean? He just very calmly and coolly plays king b1, kind of assumed as much. And we kind of have a big decision on our hands. Like, he can maybe slam the bishop in. He's got this play. He's going to try to infiltrate on the 7th. He can't do it yet because my knight covers. And I thought I found, like, a really nice move here. I played b5. Now, just so you guys can tell, I played b5 because my idea is if he pushes, I get the square. If he takes, I get the square. And, like, I don't care that he's up a pawn. He'd have 3 pawns in a row. Like, I think I'm just better. And if he does nothing, I thought that I would just take, and I'm just up a clear pawn. Unfortunately, Matt, to his credit, really finds a really nice resource, and this is not a move I saw at all. When I play b5, and for the record, I'm down below an hour now, so I've spent about 45 minutes, and our time is equal. So you know, we were moving at a very similar clip, actually. He's down to, I mean, very specifically, he's down to an hour 2, and I'm down to 59 minutes. And he plays this move g4, which really, really surprises me. It might even be a good move, maybe. It's a weakening move, but it might be good. It was not a move I expected. Apparently after rook c1, he's fine. Okay, the computer first said he was like +1, and then they reevaluated. They like my move. b5 is the best move in that position. Awesome. Yeah, and I saw all this stuff, like takes or whatever, and all of a sudden this is good for me. After he plays g4, it's no longer good for him. I'm better here. Anyway, the reason why I spent a long time in this position is that we're about to play a very forcing line, and I was really trying my best to see if I had anything better. So I'm just going to show you the line, and I'm pretty sure that there's like nothing really that can be done. So it goes takes, I take, he checks, I take back, he takes back, I move here, only move, and he snaps this pawn. And we get an endgame where 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got the outside pass pawn with a bishop, and my king is actually kind of stuck with not a lot of mobility. Now the positives in the position, I'm going to have a killer square for the knight, but I don't really think it's a bad bishop. I mean, in a lot of the other lines, it was a bad bishop. It's pretty good. This f pawn is pretty weak, and it's on a light square. really, when I evaluated this, okay, so I'm going to be completely honest. Okay, the computer says I'm slightly better. When we arrived at this position, I thought to myself, when he found like that nice line after bishop takes a7, I was down. We were both below. Okay, we were actually both at, when the next move is played. We both have exactly 48 minutes, so we both used about an hour. I strongly considered offering a draw here because it's been a long day. This was a long game, and I thought that this was very. I actually thought if anyone could be better, maybe it's white. I'm actually surprised to see the computer says black is slightly better. But I then, after I thought about it for a few minutes, I then said to myself, okay, it's one thing to offer a draw. Like last game I played against, I believe against Anish. Anish is like 100 points higher rated than me. Matt is 200 points lower rated than me. Like, this is also a tournament where it's like a winner take all. You know, the winner is the one who gets like the entry to Rubens Landing or whatever. So I decided that I have to play for the win here. That even though the position looks somewhat equal, it doesn't seem like a drawn position. And this is what I told him after the game, and I mean this. Even though I think the computer evaluates this close to 0, with the kings on the opposite side of the board, it felt like one of us was going to win this game. And I thought to myself, my next few moves are really natural. Let's see if he makes a mistake. And so I played on. I didn't offer the draw. So I first start with what I thought was the obvious move, rook c7. It wins a tempo, and I kind of want to keep him off the 7th. I don't want his rook to just willy-nilly go in here. There are a few places he could put the bishop that might not be so good, and I think he misplays here a little bit. I mean, again, what do I know? But he plays bishop e8, and I thought this was a mistake, because this, again, allows me to kind of move with tempo. And my whole idea is I wanted my rook on a light square, mission successful. I want it on the b file, so that I can kind of hammer in his passed pawn. And I wanted to maintain, you know, the grip here. There are some lines where I want to cut off the king, but I thought if I got my knight to d5, I could wiggle my king in, I would have the activity, I would be better. And that was kind of like what I thought were like natural moves in my mind. So I played them. He now plays bishop e5. And I thought to myself, all right, well, obviously I can't let him trade the bishop for the knight. I thought if anyone could be better in that endgame, it's probably a draw. But my king is really far from defending this pawn. I thought I'd be in for like kind of a tough time. So I moved to d5. This seems good. Everything is guarded. I only have one weakness, the g7 pawn that the bishop can attack. And I start saying to myself, holy shit, I think I'm better here. I was critical of his move that he played next after the game, but it looks like he actually played a good move here. Yeah, he played a good move here, and apparently it is basically equal. But they like rook b5 there. Huh. They like rook b5, so they like the line of takes, and playing that out. Alright, well, he locks in g5, and I thought that this was wrong, but I'm wrong. Okay, so Matt, I don't know if you watch these videos, probably not, but if you do, my apologies. Looks like you played a good move there. I thought it was weakening because I thought this was a backwards pawn, that this kind of opened the door. I thought he should have actually pushed the f pawn and try to like basically break open like so. I thought his goal should have been to kind of trade off the pieces here and just play with the passed pawn, like try to walk it up with a king. And I thought that's how he could play for like an advantage with my king so far removed. But who the hell knows what I'm talking about? And I found this really nice move, I think. Yeah, it's a good move. It's the best move in the position. I'm happy with myself. But it's equal. It just equals. Wow. I found rook b3, and I'm hammering the pawn. I'm stopping him from moving this pawn, and he doesn't really have any activity himself along the kebabbing file. I thought this was like practically very challenging for white. Yeah, because I thought that this move is forced, f4. And as soon as he plays f4, the reason I saw this is I now play f6. And this is based actually on a miscalculation. Both Matt, I realized this after I played the move. Matt didn't see this until the post gap. But I thought that he couldn't play bishop here, because I thought I could just take with this pin. But he actually has this amazing move, king c2, and once I move my rook, he then takes my knight, and I still have the same problem, which is he has this outside wide peepo, the pawn, and I kind of wanted to eliminate that. Furthermore, if his bishop is here, he's preventing my rook from getting around and down. Because what I wanted to do is if he played something like bishop d4, my whole idea was to attack it again with b4, which again opens up the door for this pawn. The whole idea, of course, is if he moves the bishop, I can take the pawn. Not yet, because then he would go takes. But if I can move another attacker, his rook is blocked by my knight. So I thought that's how I was busting open the position with f6. But I strongly believe that bishop c3 is his best move. And he discarded it. It is the best move. Yeah, okay. What's funny is I discarded that because of knight takes. But then I saw that knight takes doesn't work. Yeah, exactly. The computer's even seeing the line that I saw after the fact, which is this king c2 move. And then, they even want me to sack. That's wild. I don't know if you guys see that. The line they're suggesting is to go into this anyway, and it's equals apparently. Bishop here, takes, move here, takes, and then you're free to move the knight. I don't know if I would have found that sequencing. But he discarded that bishop move. And as soon as he discards that, I'm pretty sure that's the only good move in the position for white. Finally, I am better. Finally. It's been a battle of the ages. He takes first. Doesn't change much. I take. He gives me a check, and this is where I do, I think for a few minutes here, I was wondering if he was going to check me. And I know I didn't want to put it on this dark square, because I thought there were some lines where I move here, where if I start walking in, I might walk into a fork. I didn't want that to happen. And I thought I could maybe run up, and I was wondering if I can get my king active, then I could be winning. So I was really strongly considering king h6, and it's the move I played. It's the best move in the position. Cool. I'm really glad. And as soon as I land this move, I start thinking, computer agrees, so I really am happy with myself. I start thinking to myself that I'm actually clearly better because he can't get this king moving, or the pawn moving. I might win the pawn. And I get an active king where maybe my king can just win all the pawns as well. So I was really happy with how this position kind of, what ended up happening. He plays, and this is where Matthew thinks for 12 minutes. And I briefly considered the move he played, but I discarded it because I didn't think it was a good move. And it looks like the computer, king h6, great move. Thank you, computer. Yeah, computer doesn't like his move. I thought his best move even here is just to move the bishop, to be honest. But all of a sudden he's got major problems. And he plays a wild move. He plays rook takes knight. I shrug, and I did briefly look at this. I didn't think it was good, but I said if he can draw this, he can draw this. He sacks the rook. I go pawn takes. He now goes bishop takes pawn, and we're in this position where I'm pretty sure I'm winning. You know what I mean? Let's be honest here. I'm pretty sure I'm winning, but I had to be very careful. And the reason why is, at first, I wanted to play this move, rook h3, which I think is a very good move. He's not in time to get his bishop back to defend it. If I'm winning another pawn, then it's equal pawns, bishop versus rook, which is typically very easy. But I was worried about him just monkeying this pawn. And at first, I tried counting the squares, if I go over, and then I take, and then he keeps pushing, I was counting. And I realized I was never in time with my king, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moves. He'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd be too slow. But then I got very excited, because I saw rook h3, and if he pushes immediately, I can go back. And that's the key move that I saw, check, and then picking up the pawn. So I saw that if I go here, he has to waste a move. And if he moves his king up, for example, which is what happened, I can take this with check, and I have enough time to get around and prevent him from queening. Or just walk my king in. So when I saw that, I got very excited. I also considered moving my king in, but yeah, I'm kind of curious. They like rook b6. Not a move I was considering playing. Huh. Yeah, and I was considering just walking my king up. Do they not like the move I played? They don't. This adds a lot more. Oh, that's still an excellent move. Okay, cool. Okay. And I thought that this was I thought this was clinical, but maybe it's not. I mean, I don't know. It still says that I'm just winning. Maybe I'm just completely winning in this endgame. But Matt had a few tricks, as you guys will see. So I'll show you the ending of the game. been going for 34 minutes. All right, not too bad. Again, I'm a bit tired. I mean, this was a long one. I had a long day, and it's really, really hot here. So after rook h3, he plays king c2. I check. I take with check. He plays king d3. It's worth noting that this bishop is protecting the pawn. I obviously don't want to lose my rook after a hard-fought game. I decide to go rook h1, thinking I can get around this way, just so I don't really have to worry, you know? He goes king d4. He's trying to attack this pawn. I say, no siree Bob. I'm going to maintain that pawn. May as well. At this point, I'm moving pretty fast. Mat is below 20 minutes. He plays king c5 now. He's trying to shepherd the pawn up the board. And finally, after all of these moves are played, finally I say, okay, it's time. And I move my king in. Remember, he had been doing a good job of keeping my king out. And I figured once I can walk my king in, I can just waltz my pawn up. He can never queen. Boom, it's easy. But he made it very difficult. He plays b4. He's going for it. I play king g4. I'm going for it. He plays bishop g5. And by the way, the reason I did this is there were a lot of lines where I saw g5 kind of splitting open. There's zero counterplay. And a lot of the times I can just win the bishop. I'm obviously attacking the pawn. He has to move one of these squares. I thought maybe he should go to e5 so he can kind of like watch the queening square. But that's where I would have played king f5 with the idea of pushing g5 to dislodge the bishop. But he doesn't do that. He plays bishop g5. You know, reasonable move. I play king f5. My idea, again, is to walk it up and just waltzing the waltzing Matilda. Come waltzing with me. He pushes the pawn. b5. It's game on. I play king e4. Same plan. He plays b6. Getting a little bit worried here. Now that my king is watching my pawn, now I go rook b1 with the idea that he can't outrun me, because then I'll just snap it off. Snap it off! And the reason why is I found a very clever move that I thought won on the spot, but you guys will see. And this is why I was like very relaxed. Plays king c6, not surprising. I play d4. It's go time. His king can never catch up to my pawn now. I'm out sprinting him. And this was the key move, because after b7, I saw that if I push my pawn to d2, he can play f5. And when I gather his pawn, he'll take me. And then I'll have to sacrifice the rook, and that'll be a draw. So I thought I found the clinical win, which is this very important move, king f5, back here, so that I'm physically blocking his pawn, so that his bishop cannot actually take on d2. And because his king, I've kind of lured his king down this way, I am freely queening. So at this point, I had zero worry. I thought that this was resign on the spot for him. I was very happy with myself, but props to Matt. He found a beautiful idea, beautiful for sure. He played bishop d6. The reason this is so strong, and I realize it's the kind of thing where after he thought for 3 minutes to find this move, I gasp and I say, oh my god, he is trying to play bishop to b6, splitting my rook off. So I realize I have no choice. I take. He takes. And I still think this is winning, but I got not upset, but I was like, oh shit, I guess I wasn't as clinical as I could be. So after rook takes on b7, king takes on b7, and I took on f4. He can never win, obviously, and I'm pretty sure this is just a win. But it's not so simple. Wow, it's not so simple at all. Jesus, look at that. I found a way to brutalize this. Wow, I thought this was winning. Okay, 47. King c6. He's getting his king in. I play d3. I'm going running. His bishop a5. He's trying to stop me. I play g5. I'm going to push the other pawn. He plays king d5. I play king e3. Very important to prevent his king from coming in. He plays king e5. He's trying to get over. Because if I push and he trades and I take, he's close enough to my pawn, so I have to be very cognizant of that. So I simply play g4 here. He plays bishop e1. He's trying to move, and I thought this was clever. If I push to dislodge him, he can take, and then once I push, he has this nice skewer to draw the game. So I realized that the move I have to play is king e2, because he has to stay on this diagonal to prevent me from pushing the pawn. And after this, he's pretty much out of tricks. He plays bishop b4, and I play the very solid g3 with the idea that one of these pawns is going to queen, doesn't matter which. and Matt resigns the game in this position. So really well fought game. I really feel like we got our money's worth. Yeah, Matt resigned the game in this position. So black won. Let's save it. Let's do a game review, and then I'm very quickly going to go through the computer. I thought I played pretty well. We'll see what the computer says. 85%. Okay. I mean, again, wow. It looks like I did throw it away at the end a couple times. Jeez. Jeez Louise, right? In the end game. Well, 85% is a good game. Anytime I'm over 85, I'm happy. It was 85.1. I also won, so I'm happy because of that. Looks like we played the opening perfectly. He played a strong middle game. But it looks like we both made some endgame mistakes. I thought I was playing clinically, but apparently not. All right, let's go through the engine because I'm very curious, as always. Yep, this is book. It's the Magnus move, and it's the best move too. Take, C6, best move. Cool. So the opening went perfectly. I mean, he as I said, he played the best theory. So props to him. Best move. He goes back. And yet here I'm supposed to play knight f6 first. I'm supposed to play here. And then just play this position. And this is fine. No queen, so the fact my king is in the middle of the board is really not a liability. Black has achieved equality. Alright, no problem. Instead, I kind of messed up a little bit. Castled. They like knight a5 immediately. Again, as you saw, I did play that move, just not immediately. Now I'm playing knight f6, so I've kind of like inverted move orders to my detriment. He moves in. I don't think this was good. I take, of course. Takes. Alright, I mean, this whole game, I thought that he was actually a bit better, but it looks like not really. Although I think there was one point where he is quite a bit better, actually. So let's keep going. Let's see what happens. I take. He takes. They really want me to play this king e7 move. I just was really worried about king e7, bishop c5. Apparently here, it's never that good because of this move. Oh, actually, because you have to maintain... I saw this, for the record, and I saw that he has to go like this, but this is good for me. So what do they suggest? Like this, I see. So apparently this is just good for me. And then after takes, now I can just like get my other rook into the game. Huh. Yeah, I should have gone. I should have just manned up because I actually did see this. No joke. All right, well, whatever. We do this instead. So this is where I make a mistake. And this is where kind of the game. This was Matt's chance to really capitalize on a good game so far. I needed to play. I was afraid. Okay, they like bishop d5. I thought d5 and then c4, and I didn't see it. Yeah, I saw the pin. I was gonna go this deep. Apparently he can take the pawn. I don't think that is what he would have done. Oh, I need to find b5 in this position. Knight e4. That's always the idea. Okay. So I need to find b5. I mean, I found b5 in the other position, so I think I would have found this. But I don't think he would have taken on a7. I think he would have just like gotten the other rook into the game. And apparently here... Oh, and I can play e7. I see. Because now I'm just attacking, and he doesn't have a lot of space for his rook. I think Ben pointed out something like that in this position. Alright, well, I made a mistake. I go back here. Now white is clearly better. And I felt like he was better. Like, he's kind of constricting me. I don't have a lot of squares. This rook is not in the game. My king is not that safe. White is clearly better here. He doubles up. I have to man up and castle, even though I don't love it. And yeah, and I thought he let me off the hook here. So this is like a loss of a pawn for him. It's quite bad. He's still better, though. I mean, +1 is still a nice position. It's not winning or anything like that, but white is clearly better. They like g4 in this position for him. All right, well, he plays c4, which is a good move. They like b5 immediately, or what I play, rook f c8, which I'm pretty happy about. I think it's a good move. He moves the king, and they like my idea. Again, it's funny. Computer says white is better. Over the board, I thought once I landed this move, I was better. But I'm not. But he blunders. Yeah, I just didn't think this was that good, because I thought after pawn takes, I was going to just play knight d5. And I thought that, again, he's up a pawn, but it's triple pawns, and I've got a dominant knight. I win a tempo on his... Wow. I don't know if you guys see this, but the line that the computer says for him to maintain an advantage, he has to find the sack here. And then he has to play rook a6, not even take the pawn back. I don't think anyone around my level would not grab this back. I feel like this would be the position that he would have gotten, which means black is better. But apparently the follow-up is this position, and white has a small advantage of down the exchange. Wild stuff, right? In fact, not just small advantage. +1 is really no joke, but he of course doesn't do that because that's incredibly hard to find. I don't even think like masters would go into that. All right, whatever. So I take, and now it's swung back. It's like pretty equal. Take back, I take, and we play this forcing line where I just didn't see anything better. And the nice thing apparently is that I have a small advantage in this endgame. I thought I should attack this first and then move, but it looks like I played it slightly wrong here. I attack, he attacks me, I move over, seemed like the best spot for my rook. He attacks me. I'm supposed to let him trade. I didn't want to. I want to keep the minor pieces on. Whoops. Hold on. Hold your horses. Hold your horses, computer. Okay. So in this position, I move here. He's supposed to... Oh, okay. Interesting. It's actually not that hard of a move to find. He's supposed to play rook b8, thinking that my rook is more active and better. I'm keeping him off. I'm kind of watching this. So he can play rook b8, and after trade, black is slightly better because this is a really far pass pawn with the bishop controlling a lot of space. Instead, he pushes on me. I saw f6 and I saw rook b3. It looks like those were the two moves. I didn't see a difference between the two. I thought this was more accurate to force him to push the pawn. It doesn't. He could have found the same deal. It's really hard to find in game this idea. Again, I saw this, but only after it was played. Instead, he goes here. I play f6. I didn't think I was like winning after this, but I thought I was better. And yeah, he has to find bishop c3 or bishop d6. Hard to find that for sure. And yeah, after a move like this, again, I was looking at these ideas, just winning this because he can't actually, commit to me. I also was looking at this idea, rook f3, which the computer likes. The computer says this is a draw. This is equal. I thought I was a bit better. He checks me. This is a mistake. I don't think he should have checked me because he kind of gets my king sort of more active. Great move. And now all of a sudden, now I'm very clear there. So I want to see how I screwed it up. Yeah, he really didn't have to do this. Apparently, he can just attack my rook, for example, with king c2. Sacking is wrong. They like this move. Rook b4 would have been best. I need to activate the king. I said as much, but this is good too. Taking the pawn. And apparently, I need to walk with my king. I need to get it in the game immediately. What's funny, it's crazy. This position, after I make a mistake here, that's a big mistake. White is totally in the game. Plays here. I thought this was fine. Plays king c5. Now I play king h5. So the move for him to maintain the lead. Oh, in the post cap, Matt suggested this move is something he thought about, but then he didn't play. And I said I had no idea what I was going to do to this against this. And this is really good for... Well, not really good. Black is still better, but like he probably draws with this move. He said that he thought about this. I don't know what I would have done. I'm sure I would have attacked this, don't get me wrong. He goes here. I would have taken. And now he just starts throwing the pawn forward. Now I move over. He's protecting. I mean, maybe I can't win this. I don't know. This is hard to win. Again, I'm never losing this, but it looks like Matt could have drawn with that defense. Instead, though, he doesn't do that, and they like my king over, and yeah, he needs to find this. I guess everything is losing at this point. I didn't think it mattered which way he went. He goes here, but it's too little, too late, and now it's just solidly a win for me. Push my pawn, pushes. Oh wow, this is not the right move. I thought that was really clever. Oh, I thought this was such a good move. But this throws away the clear win. Apparently I just push. goes here. I push. But he has to play... So if I got in this position, and I push the pawn, he has to push the pawn up, right? And then after G takes, play C7. Oh, I can play F4 here. I didn't see this. This makes sense, because I'm cutting off the bishop with the pawn, and now I'm just going to queen. So for example, at any point, he plays, you know, something like this. I take, he takes. This is just simple, because I can go D2. He has to trade here, I go there, and this is just winning. Alright, well, I missed that win. I thought this was clever, but it's because I didn't see what he played. And, yeah, I have to sack. I sack, he takes. I still thought this was winning. Computer says it's not. I take the pawn. And this is where he missed his chance, actually. Apparently, if he plays here, check. I think I would have gone to E3. Really hard. He has to find specifically bishop d8. Let's say I push the pawn. Yeah, this is just a draw. Huh. Wow. This is not good because of bishop a5. Which is what he plays. And he misses his chance. He needs to give me a check. But instead he moves in, and now it's over. And I'm clinical from here. Cool. And then he gives up. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know what to say. Pretty good game, of course. Whoops. Whoopsies. Pretty good game. Let's say Weaver Adams. I won. I'm going to be taken by next week because I won't be able to play. Hopefully I win in 2 weeks. My next game is against Ben on Tuesday. Have a good one.